In this video, we're going to show you how to add 20 yards onto your golf shots by doing something that is very, very simple to do and something that everybody can do. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. On this channel, we aim to help you get good at golf Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right through to Friday. Guys, if you want bonus content, if you want giveaways, if you want meetups in the summer, when it warms up a little bit, I've got about 5 layers on today, then make sure you check out our memberships over on Sunday Club. The link is in the description for that. Thank you to everyone that has joined so far. Right, how can I add 20 yards to my iron shots? Because that's a bold claim. We see lots of YouTube videos where people claim you can generate more ball speed, you can generate more distance, and you can lower your handicap. So here I have an 8 iron. This is a bladed 8 iron, and it has around 35 degrees of loft on there. Now I need to deliver around 30 degrees of dynamic loft to make sure I get the ultimate distance out of this club. So how do I do that? You see, a lot of people, when they hit their 8 iron or the 7 iron or the 6 iron, they'll load up to the top of the backswing, they will lean back and they'll hit either a thin shot or a really high shot that just doesn't go anywhere. You'll see that my spine angle was behind the ball at impact there, and the club head was actually in front of the hands. Now if the club head's in front of the hands, we spoke earlier about degrees of loft. 35 degrees of loft here, dynamically that was more like 45. So the ball's going to launch a lot higher with less control and with less ball speed. That means it's not going to go as far as your 8 iron should do. Might go around 120, 130 yards. That's a huge problem for so many golfers, because generally what we want to do is have a nice gap throughout the set. Yes, it's important to hit your irons a long way, but it also has to be consistent from your pitching wedge 9 iron, 8 iron, 7 iron, 6 iron, however many irons you have in your bag. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to make sure that first of all my setup's correct. So setup wise for an 8 iron, the ball's going to be around in the middle of the stance. You can put an iron just down in there while you're practicing to check that if you like. From there, when I load up the backswing, I'm going to make sure my weight moves onto the trail side here. So for a left-handed golfer, that'll be the other side. Right-handed, it's your right side. And as I come through to impact, you can see I can practice this without a golf club. If you're in the office, if you're working and you're a little bit bored, like a lot of people do get, then you can see, Chris, you should probably not, but you should be working harder. Correct. Yeah. But you should be able to see that as you start your downswing, your weight shifts into the left side and your sternum kind of goes over the ball here. So my weight's on my left side at impact. Now what that allows me to do is de-loft the 8 iron ever so slightly. It's really important your hips rotate here, because that creates the room for your hands to work around your body. What that does is that creates a forward shaft lean, and again we're going to talk numbers here, so that 35 degree 8 iron is now a lot less, it's closer to 30. All of a sudden, without swinging any harder, without swinging any faster, that 8 iron has gone from a 120 yard club right up to a 150 yard, 140 yard club. I promise you 20 yards, it could even be 30 yards here, just by making sure your dynamics are correct right through impact. So what if I don't do that properly? What if my hips generally slide towards the target? I can still get my weight forward, but if I slide towards the target here, there's then nowhere for the hands to go. That's when the unmentionable comes in. That's where the heel strikes come in. That's where you see people's hands start to work a little bit up and high. You generally lose the ball to the right. So it's imperative that not only you get that hip working out of the way, then your handle can come through, you can get a nice forward shaft lean, deal off that club, and generally you can start to hit better, crisper iron shots with a nice big divot there. Now, divots are a natural part of hitting good iron shots. A lot of people might think, oh James, I don't want to hit a divot, I don't want to disturb the turf. A golf course is here to be used, it's here to be taken divots out of. You can see here that my T-peg was there, and the divot's gone ever so slightly left, which is normal because the club's working around the arc of the body, and I've hit the ball, then the turf. That's exactly what I want to do with the de-lofted 8 iron, and dynamically there, that's more like a 7 iron, which is why it's now gone 150 yards instead of 130 yards. Guys, Chris is now going to jump in. He's going to show you a really good drill that can help you do this with ease. And remember, this is something that nearly everybody can do. You don't have to swing faster, you don't have to get any fitter, just understand how to deliver that golf club.
Right guys, so let's talk some drills that you can do. So if you're at home or if you're in the office, again, James has come up with a great drill. I'm going to give this one to James.
Yeah,
James
good
has
one
given
this.
me this one. He's had an argument for 5 minutes, so I've had to put it in. So, right, if you've got a club, you can grip halfway down there, pop that onto your left-hand side, and once we make a motion there, we've already preset a little bit of forward shaft lean, but we can make a swing here, just a nice half swing, and then from there, we've got to figure out how can I get that club back into the same position without casting my hands or doing any kind of movement. So all I've got to do from this position here is start to get my weight over to the left, get those hips turning like James said, because that creates the space.
That is perfect.
For that club to go into. I've not hit my side there. If I start to feel like I'm releasing the club, I'm going to constantly get hit in the side. So from here, I've got to get that lower body rotating. From there, that club can come down, turn through, and we're into that strong position James mentioned. So we're taking dynamic loft off, we're getting that ball launching much lower and more towards the target, as opposed to it launching high, losing distance. And if you're somebody who sees, like James mentioned, sees all your clubs go pretty much the same distance, we haven't got a nice 10-yard, 15-yard gap between your irons, that's what you will be doing. You will be adding loft into impact, and from there we're going to get a weak strike, we're going to get maybe 5 yards difference, and then we start to need to think, right, do I need hybrids? Do I need more woods? What do I need to do? And nobody wants to do that. We can just get you to get extra distance by making movements such as that. We then need to take it onto the golf ball. So onto the driving range, we want to give yourself a drill which is right foot back, a little bit narrower than normal, and from there that's going to help us with a couple of things that we're going to go through now. So the first thing that's going to help us with is moving this club away that I'm going to load up onto my right hand side. I can get nice and wide with my arm, I can get a complete backswing, but I'm not falling off the ball. So a lot of golfers try to generate and they've seen that they need to get onto the right hand side. You need to load into your right hand side. And what I see a lot of times is when people do this drill, they go, right, okay, do the backswing, and we fall towards the right hand side. So we fall to the right hand side, we lose weight because we're trying to go, yeah, I've got to get onto the right hand side, I've got to get onto the right hand side. And once we go narrow with the stance, we lose all the stability. So I can still get onto my right hand side, but I'm loading a lot more centered. So I'm a lot centered here. So from here I can now much easily shift my weight onto that left hand side through impact. And once I do that, you can see if I turn, I can get into that nice strong impact position which James has mentioned earlier is what we need to get that ball launching lower and gaining you another 20 yards. So you can start by doing this nice and smooth, guys. So again, get nice and narrow, not too narrow, but here if I took my normal stance, I'm then just going to bring it in, so probably half the width, and then just make some half swings and hit a couple of these on the range and keep your balance. You'll see there, again, picked off nicely. A little bit to the right, I didn't quite get through that one, so I can get feedback straight away. I need to make sure I'm turning this body and getting all the way through to point towards my target. So a great drill that's going to give you feedback, and then we need to start to get that a little bit longer. So once I'm more comfortable, I can put a little bit more speed into that. I can rotate, and you can see there, much more towards my target. Ball is launched nice and low, and again we can see a nice consistent divot, just moving a little bit left there, just like James mentioned. So once we've put that drill into place, we're starting to get you launching it lower, we're getting a better feel, and that's going to be the case throughout your bag, all the way up to your longer irons, into your fairway woods. Again, slightly different with your driver, we're trying to hit a little bit more up on that, but we still want that same principle that when we come into impact, we're rotating, using this body better, and we're not hanging back and putting much more loft on there. So guys, hopefully that's a quick drill that you can do on the driving range to help you get good at golf.